Hey guys, so we're gonna do a reading tonight. So it is the new moon, and it's been there's some weird things going on and everything. But I'm gonna do this read a little bit different. Yeah, it's semi political. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've kind of delved into that, but there is something very interesting that is happening. Now, I'm not one for conspiracy theories, first of all, just so you know. I'm not. I really try to steer clear of it. I know there's a lot of stuff you'll never see me being a Pizzagate person or anything, kind of like that. And we'll see if this makes it to YouTube. We'll see. I always try to keep my stuff pretty clear and fair and things with what I have to say. But there is some interesting things that are happening right now. Now, you may have been to the grocery store yourself and noticed some empty shelves. Now, this has been going on for a while, and this has gone on even before Russia Ukraine war kind of broke out. But we know that Biden about a month ago kind of went on and spoke of that there could be some food shortages, and his quotes, he said it could get real. And it's like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? Now, I'm no fan of Trump, but I'm not too impressed and happy with Biden right now with certain things that have been going on. I'm really beginning to doubt he's going to make a second term. I'm not ready to read on that yet. That's a little too early in the game. But you bet I will be reading when that election comes up. You bet I'm going to do that and everything, But God, if we could just only get somebody good in office, it would be a big thing. But there's so much going on right now. But, food shortage is a concern with some people. Now, some people are more focused on high prices of food. For example, everything's getting very expensive at the store. Yes, it is, definitely. But there's also shortages that are coming up in areas. Now, he's saying it's because of Russia and Ukraine. But then there's other things to it. They're talking about labor shortages, and other kind of things that are impacting the price of fertilizer. Apparently, I think we do get wheat. Wheat is supplied quite a bit from the Ukraine. Apparently, it's around like 30% or something like that. And there's a lot that and obviously the sunflower oil. And what that's funny, I was looking for my sunflower shirt for about a week. I couldn't find it, and I kept going through the same rack, looking through the same things. But for some reason tonight I found it, and of course Ukraine. This is their flour, so it was kind of weird, And I was in this is the funny thing. I was kind of debating if I wanted to do this read. Could it come across a little too controversial? I don't want to make the public paranoid. What if my reading comes out a little conspiracy sounding? But you know what? This was my signal by finding this, because I couldn't find it for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. I've been looking for it because I wanted to wear it on another time, and I thought it was really weird. I couldn't find it, but I found it right away tonight. I went to my rack to put on a shirt for to get on YouTube, and I found it right away like that. I mean, I was just right there. Just the first thing I looked at, a matter of fact. So I felt like Spirit was saying, no, I want you to do this reading. Okay, and I could certainly see why, because if food becomes a problem, if this is going to be something that starts getting serious or getting real, like he says, I would definitely love to let you guys know. And I definitely want to look at that. Now, this is not the only thing that's going on. Now, a couple months ago, it even happened very close to home. Okay, there was a food processing plant. They're just right here in Hermiston, which is very close to where I'm at, located. It just exploded. Okay, and that happened just a couple months ago. But apparently, there's a lot of problems. There's been things happening over the last year with a lot of food processing plants. They're catching on fire, or they're doing things. A plane crashed into one. Okay, even a plane. Okay, so there's that going on. Now, I'm not going to go so far as to say those are deliberate. Okay, but it's freaky. Okay, it's freaky that this is happening. Okay, this does get my attention because this is happening quite a bit. And if you go on Google, you can find numerous articles about these food processing plants either catching fire. A plane went down in one. It just like, here's one from 8 days ago. Let's just kind of look at it, because I like to keep my viewers informed, and it's important and everything. So, dozens of food processing plants and warehouses have been destroyed by fires, plane crashes. I think there was more than one actually. And other curious accidents in recent weeks, even just in weeks, representing a disturbing trend that falls outside the realm of coincidence. Okay, so this is from the Miami Standard, I guess is the one that put out this one. The latest happened in Covington, Georgia, where a plane crashed into a General Mills plant on Thursday. What was this article written? This was written on April 23rd. Okay, so this was kind of mid-April, and killing 2 people and destroying a number of trailers stored at the plant. Okay. And now it says this crash happened just before Fox News' Tucker Carlson, I'm not a fan of his, okay, was about to report on this, because he was just about to report on it. That is true, and I did listen to him. I gave him a listen, even though he's, I think he's a douche, okay. But no, it actually wasn't him that I found this out. Now, like I said, this happened very close to home. I mean, this is literally about a 20, 25, 30-minute drive. This plant blew up a couple months ago in Oregon, Hermiston, Oregon. Okay, and there's a whole bunch happening and stuff. And there was the end of last month, a fire severely damaged a fresh onion packing facility in South Texas. In Oregon, a potato chip processing, that's the one I'm talking about, just reported it was a boiler explosion. I sent workers to the hospital. It was a big deal out here when this happened, because a lot of times we don't have a lot of dramatic things happen. Though I have to admit, in my area where this used to be a very sleepy town and nothing happened at all, so it does seem to be like crime is kind of picking up and things. It's kind of like it wasn't like this when I first moved here. When I first moved here, it was completely chill. So and they acknowledge things happening. But then, of course, last month, Joe Biden says something about food shortages. Okay. So, but yeah, it says, shockingly, nearly 20 U.S. food plants have been damaged or destroyed over the last year or so. Around the same time, supply chains break down. And it may even be more than 20. Something like that. Okay, then came the war with Ukraine, and then that's, that one, most people, when I've looked at some legit credible sources, and I'm really trying to do it for you guys, I don't want to, I want to be careful, but some were saying, like some that have talked with the grocers associations and FDA and things like that, actually interviewed them, said that we could be impacted later because of Ukraine stuff. Okay, but what about what's going on now? Okay. And then, of course, China, we get some stuff from there, what could change with that and everything. So there's some concerns. Now, then, what this does is this gets other people talking about Bill Gates. Okay, because Bill Gates, what's he been doing over the last few years or so? Buying up farmland all over the damn country. Okay, and let's kind of look at that for a minute, because I know a lot of people, right or left, are always kind of looking at Bill Gates and stuff. How much farmland does Bill Gates own right now? Okay. So he owns 242,000 acres of farmland, stretches across 18 states from Washington to Florida, according to the report. Oh, okay, and him and Melinda apparently split some of the land after the divorce. So he owns so we'll just say they. 242,000 acres of farmland stretching across 18 states. So, very interesting. Why is he buying so much farmland? Okay, I have to admit that does get my third eye kind of going, and it makes me kind of wonder, and stuff that this is a thing, that this is a thing that he's getting involved in. And then now we're kind of going through this weird kind of food shortage kind of situation. And there's apparently even wet cat food. Let's look at that one. and stuff. What is going on with the missing wet cat food? Pet owners resort to making cat food as supply chain issues leave shelves empty. So yes, even back in January, there has been an issue with the wet cat food. There's been some cat food issues and things like that. So and this has still been going on even back then, but yeah, there's been a little bit of a cat food shortage. So I can imagine. I don't know what. Wait a minute, is Fancy Feast being discontinued? What? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, there's some issues with some the canned food shortages. Even in March 10, they're talking about it, supply chain woes and everything. Where's the canned cat food? So yeah, that apparently has been going on for a while since COVID. I will give it that. But that's kind of interesting. So very, very interesting. Like I said, and the legit people that I listen to, the ones that, like say, if I listen to JP Sears, he, that guy. But, I did come across, he's a trip. But, when I listen to just regular old people, that, or the type that, grow things. They got gardens going, growing their own food, and they're kind of doing that. And everything, and they're kind of setting up, their own stockpiles. That's what I'm looking for. They're not saying, hey, I don't know if this is a coincidence of what's going on with the food, the food places catching on fire or planes crashing into them, and because it's weird. Okay, it is weird, but it's hard to ignore, guys. Okay, it's hard to ignore. That's over in the last year. Okay, over 20. Okay, of big, pretty good big plant food suppliers, this and that something has happened. Some major fire breaks out, some major explosion, damn planes hitting them. What's going on? Okay, so this does, and it's true. And then Bill Gates has been buying up farmland for a long time. Okay, he's buying up farmland. Everybody's all worried about Elon Musk buying Twitter. We should be concerned about this because we got to eat this. I can live without Twitter. I don't even have a Twitter. I think I had a Twitter once, and then I didn't really do anything with it, and then I went in and just closed it. I don't do Twitter. I have no use for it. And I don't really want to debate with people and all that stuff. I just it's a time consumer. I'm consumed enough with Facebook and YouTube and making little TikToks. That's enough for me. But yeah, a lot of people are talking about Elon Musk and everything, and buying Twitter, but maybe we should be more concerned about why Bill Gates is buying all the farms. That he's stretching across 18 states buying farmland. Okay? Because did he see an impending food shortage? Was this coming all along? I don't know. I don't know. But it's very, very interesting. It's one thing with COVID, he has kind of a hand in certain things with vaccines, but then also this food thing is kind of, it seems to be something that's coming up, and he's got a hand in the farmland. Okay, he's got a hand in our food. Okay, so this is some stuff that I think, yeah, we should be concerned. So what do we do here? So first of all, that's what we want to look at. First, we want to kind of look at is there anything Spirit is concerned about that wants to let us know about what's going on as far as the food. Also, whether these are just real strange coincidences and it just all kind of happening, and maybe this is some kind of dominoes lining up, as I call it sometimes, with certain things to come, or just somebody got their hands in this, okay, to manipulate, because if you're messing with food, that's a big thing. If you're messing with food, that's a huge thing. We've already got our struggles as far as the cost of living, buying. People can't touch homes because they're putting the prices up so high. Like a home that was $150,000, maybe 10 years ago, maybe went up to 200,000 5 years ago, and now some of these are going for 1 million. Okay, some ridiculous hikings of the prices of homes is insane. People are charging, the rent out here used to be really good, and it's going up. It's going up, 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 up. We're almost up to Seattle out here. Okay, it's almost like I might, maybe I should just move to Seattle. You're going to cost that much, because one of the things I lived over here because it was cheaper than Seattle. So it's crazy. So yeah, let's get to it, guys. Let's just kind of look at it and kind of see what Spirit has to say about what's going on with the food shortage. And another reason, of course, I'm doing this for you guys, okay, is should you be stocking up? Should you maybe kind of stock up on the food pile, get the canned goods going, and things like that? Is it true that Biden's saying it's going to get real? But I feel it's a lot more than just Russia and Ukraine, guys. Okay, I feel what's happening, because some of this has been happening since COVID, but I feel, and then of course we've got ships with, that are docked up with supplies and everything. They can't get them off the ships, It's a lot going on. Let's check it out. Okay, so I just wanted to, I know sometimes I talk a little bit before I get to reading, but I wanted to make sure to prepare, because some of you might not be aware what's been going on. Google it, go online, do a little homework, and see what's been going on with all these plants. Okay, because this is weird. And see, this, I swear, just like one very close to me, okay, caught fire. One very, very close to me. And I might even do a second layout on this. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I don't know if it'll be necessary. Okay, let me stop talking and focus. That one is calling me here. Very interesting stuff. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start stocking up. I do notice I know I spend a lot of money on food every month, and I mean I've been really spending a lot of money on food. Okay. Okay. I should have put the flyer down. I didn't even think about it. It's okay. If I didn't think about it, it wasn't meant to be down. Yeah, but it's a lot of weird things. Just kind of funny how everything works, right? Let's go ahead and see it. Oh, this is always... I try to smooth this out so it looks a little nicer, but... Okay. Let's see what's going on. Very first card. So I have two cards that represent Biden for me when I have read him, and I've read many times because of the election. There are times he is the King of Cups because he's Scorpio. He can be good about showing empathy, but I can also get the Hermit for him. And I noticed that he does seem to be being fairly quiet with us lately. And I feel with everything going on, I would certainly like to hear a little bit more from him. But I feel like he's, with this Hermit, I feel he knows a lot more about what's going on than he's leading on here. He's keeping very private about some things. So, and I'm a little concerned about that, especially a little bit about the lack of talking. Now, I know, his press secretary, Jen Psaki, always comes out and she briefs us on various things going on. She's good about that. But still, I do feel, I feel he's kind of worried about those, things that are going on. I would be worried. And, but yeah, I feel I would like to see him more come out and really talk to us and enlighten us, because I'll tell you, the more quiet he's going to be, here comes more of the, us kind of, putting two to two together, what's going on, that kind of thing. So, okay. And the freezer's cracked open. I'll get that later. Okay, let's see here. So we've got the star. So the star for me can represent the United States. Okay, and that is kind of the opposing card here and so forth. And I actually got that. I will tell you, I got that from another reader I saw. I realized I was like, you know what, the star really does fit with us. It started coming up for me too. So I do feel the star kind of represents the United States. You know, we tend to be really kind of like that guide, you know, what we're trying to be, you know, that guiding light in the world. Everybody wants to be, you know, we're so rich, powerful, all this stuff and everything, but it's kind of opposing and stuff. So I kind of feel like that, you know, really, you know, a lot of people in this country are frustrated with him, and that's why it is opposing. It's not just people on the right, and we know everybody on the right is against Biden, but there are people even that voted for Biden. I'm feeling frustration too. Maybe not so much that I would go, you know, vote to the right necessarily, but definitely, you know, I'm not too thrilled with the performance, and a lot of other people aren't as well. That we need things to start going smoother. Now, I didn't expect him to clear up everything overnight after we had a pandemic, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people understood that, so forth. But, you know, there are certain things that, you know, haven't been going right, you know, but inflation, you know, this high cost of living, and then now a food shortage kind of, you know, pending here, you know, that it's already starting to kind of, you know, rear its ugly head. There's a lot to be concerned about. So let's kind of go ahead and look at that and what we've got here. So let's go ahead and see. Now, I would actually say the Princess of Wands, I'm actually feeling that's his press secretary, Jen Psaki, am I saying her name right? I feel that's her. She's tend to, just like I was talking about, she tends to come out and be the voice. I notice also, I think, you know, she has red hair, she has that, so that goes real good with the fire, you know, kind of energy, that fire element. Very often, the page or princess can be depicted redhead, so I feel this is kind of her. Now, the Four of Wands is popping up in here. That can be also, you know, about stability for me, you know, completion, stability, and things like that. A few things here. Notice one of the things, it feels like when it comes to COVID, it's almost like people have made it that it's completed, in that the worst of it's over. Okay, though COVID's still happening, guys, it's still happening, but it's real weird though, this kind of shift that happened, that once this war in Ukraine broke out, you know, Biden went in, you know, especially, you know, when he did his State of the Union, and nobody had a mask on pretty much, you know, trying to give the impression it's all fixed. Okay, and so I feel that's a little bit of the completion card, and I feel also one of the things they're trying to say is that that area is stable. We don't have to worry about that anymore, as bad at least. Okay, you don't have to wear masks; it's not required. You know, it's kind of weird how this was the thing. Okay, they were, you know, even going, you know, they were, you know, firing people in the medical industry, and you know, for not being vaxxed, or soldiers, you know, letting them go. And then everything's fine now. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got that. So let's kind of go ahead and see what else. Well, we got that Ten of Swords coming up in here. Okay, Ten of Swords and everything. And that can be, you know, just kind of flattened and at rock bottom, kind of stabbed in the back kind of energy and stuff. But ruin is very concerning. Okay, so I kind of feel there's many things I can read on this. One, as we're talking about Biden, a lot of this term, okay, is really kind of messed up. Okay, a lot of it's messed up. You know, it's not some victory, we beat COVID here. Okay, it's still going on. Okay, but we're approaching it differently. You know, so what's going on with the public here? But then we've also got other things that have fallen apart. Obviously, pulling out of Afghanistan was a disaster, and I think I saw on the news the other night that we left how many billion? Was it 7 billion in equipment over there, or maybe it was more than that. Maybe I'm gonna have to Google on that too. That's okay. That's not, we're reading on food. Okay, so we left a lot of equipment over, cost a lot of money. Okay, that was a lot. So though they may not know how to use the equipment. Okay, maybe a little complex, but still, it's a waste of money. Okay, Oh, so we've got a lot of things. And this whole war in Ukraine and everything is going on. It's just, there's a lot of things that are not going good here. Okay, so we're going to look at that. We're going to pull one more on that. Eight of Swords, everything. That also in this deck is called interference. Okay, so there's definitely the war in Ukraine definitely has been a major interference and has messed some things up here. So I do believe Biden when he says that this war is impacting us. Okay, I do believe he's honest about that, but I feel there's more things impacting the food thing, than that. It's like, what's the solution? Okay, that's what I'm, versus just saying things to us like, hey, we're going to have a food shortage because of this, and it's going to get real. What is the solution? Okay, there's got to be a solution here. Okay, so let's kind of go ahead and look at that. Now, another thing that also, if you do some reading, there's also farmers for various reasons who have been having, for whatever reasons, to destroy perfectly good food and crops and things. This is going on and stuff. There's some things with that going on. And then there's also, we had a bird flu. So a bunch of chickens and turkeys had to be killed. Okay, so we got a lot going on. We've got a whole lot of stuff is messing with the food supply here. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Wands. Okay, so we really need, them to really kind of take charge of this situation and so forth. And I have a feeling though that also when I see the Seven of Wands, I can also see people getting kind of feisty, standing up for themselves and so forth, taking the lead. Okay, so we've got that. But yeah, this is power. Okay, we've got the power card popping up in here. Okay, and I notice, anybody who controls the food can really, have a lot of power. They obviously up the prices. We got to pay the prices because we got to eat, right? So this, we can expect things to get more expensive, okay? Because here we go with the Tower. Now, what were we talking about, guys? All these accidents that are going on. What is going on? What is going on? The Tower can be about accidents and disasters. And one of the things that has been happening is a real thing, okay, is these things, are blowing up. Now, I know some people in the media are saying, come on, no, nobody's doing this. But wait a minute. It's really weird that this many, okay, have been catching on fire, having some kind of disaster, or a plane crashes into them. Okay, it's really kind of weird. And I notice the Tower is right above the power card. Okay, so I am a little concerned about that. I am a little concerned. Let's put a clarifier next to that. And then we've got the Princess of Discs. So one of the things about that, the Prince of Discs can be kind of an announcement and offering. Okay, so it makes me feel, who's going to make the offering to maybe kind of recover or put money into these plants to restore them? Okay, so there's something there. Okay, as far as to fix them, rebuild them, and this and that, I feel where's the money coming in for this? Okay, and there's other things we also got to know too, is that China also owns some farmland out here as well. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff. Could that possibly happen? Okay, that China makes an offer to build some stuff out here. Okay, but we do have a Strength card here, and that is popping up. So in the sense, if I had to look at the next, maybe if I'm feeling like the next 6 months kind of energy, we're probably not going to feel it right away, but it does feel like a crunch is coming here. Okay, I feel it like some subtle upping here, upping there, upping. We notice, but as far as like starving to death, no, I don't feel in the next 6 months that's going to happen. And I feel that's why the Strength card is popping up in there. Now the Knight of Swords pops up. Oh, here you go. There's my guy. Okay, Knight of Swords has always been Trump. I feel like Trump's going to jump in the fray and he's going to start saying something about it. Definitely, we can look for that. He likes to go to his rallies and speak and everything, and the Ace of Swords there, okay, is sitting next to him and so forth. So yes, I feel, definitely anything that Biden fails at, he's going to use to his advantage to be able to use against him. Absolutely, he's going to do that. But I have a feeling he may start speaking up a little bit about this food shortage thing that's going on. So be ready for that. He's coming. He's coming. Okay. So let's kind of go ahead and look in. Now this card, I'm going to look in For, the people. As a card, I'm going to draw, like, what does Spirit want you to know? That kind of thing. How you feeling and stuff. What Spirit's kind of saying. So let me go ahead and look at that. I'm going to pull 2 here. Okay, so I have the Princess of Cups and I have the Magician. So the Magician, of course, one of the things about that can be definitely manifestation and things like that. Yeah, absolutely. We definitely want to be doing that as spiritualists, working on our manifestation. Sure, we want to do that. But of course, we still got to work. We still got to do things, realistically and so forth. But definitely looking at that, that is one of the things Spirit is definitely saying. Is definitely kind of work on that. Start, and maybe working on some gardens and stuff. Definitely. But we've got that Justice card that is popping up in there, which is also the adjustment card and everything. So, there's a lot of legal in there. But we also do have the Princess popping up in here. I'm telling you, some people with some money are going to start buying some things and stuff. So we do have the hopes and fears, the success card. I would say that's a hope that we can successfully get through this, okay? And let's go ahead and look at that outcome card. We do get the victory card. We do get the victory card. So the good thing, no matter what. Oh, my God. Okay, I've had a very sore shoulder. Even just doing that is killing me. I don't know what's been going on with me. I don't know if I laid it on wrong or what I did. But the victory card is there, so that's good. So the good thing is, if people are worried about a situation as far as us, having millions of people starving to death all over the country, I don't feel that's going to happen. Okay, I don't feel that's going to happen. But I do feel some kind of setting up things here, where certain things may be bought up, try to kind of buy it a little bit more, put a little more money into farmland, okay, having the food and things like that. Okay, but I do feel, so I do feel we become a little vulnerable in some area, okay, with some of these business dealings, okay, but I do feel we will get through the food shortage, okay, I do feel that, which is the good thing, but I do kind of wonder if some powers that be are impacting it in other ways, because definitely one of the things they do, is try to, up prices and justify. Like there are companies, when we kind of look at it, that profited really big, but are still, even though they profited during the pandemic very well, are upping their prices and justifying, oh, it's because of inflation and other costs, and then because the cost of gas is that. It's like you made money during the pandemic and you're going to up the prices on us. They're lying. They just want to make more money. It's insane. It's insane how greedy it is. So let's look at Kipper. Kipper is a good one. Let's see we're going to look at that at Lenormand to kind of touch on this. I would still, though, start collecting some cans. Okay, getting a little canned food in there, a little something. And if you could get your hands on some wet cat food, if you got cats and they like it, I would definitely do your best to try to get it. And things like that, Okay. So let's kind of see. Yeah, so we've got the card Message of Concern. Okay, so definitely Joe Biden, even though it shows a woman, but still, Joe Biden gave a message of concern. He kind of warned there could be some food shortages. Okay, we want to pay attention to that and so forth. I've also got this card False Person is popping up in here. So when I get a look at that, tuning in, and I know it shows a woman, but it also shows a man. There's a man in a mask. Okay, a couple of things here. The card's on fire tonight. I got that False Person popping up in here. Then I've got the card Despair. Okay, pop it up. Okay, I got a little Bill Gates feel with that. Okay, a little bit, just a little bit. That's just the first bam in my mind goes there. Okay, because I've got that kind of playing on, oh, people are despairing, oh, I'm going to come in, I'm going to help, I'm going to, this kind of thing. Okay, I've got a little bit of that here. Okay, so, a little bit, I'm not necessarily getting Joe Biden as the false person. As a matter of fact, I'm a little concerned, just being honest with you. He's getting up there in age. Okay, and I'm wondering if he's a little overwhelmed with things going on. Okay. A little, Oh. And as I say that, this is what I draw. Oh yeah, I told you the cards are hot tonight, guys. If you guys come to my channel, the cards are hot. There's something going on. Okay, there's if you notice something, I know a lot of people mess with them and say dementia, and they say that. And I don't feel he's a bad guy. Okay, I don't really have that, but I do feel he's getting affected by something there. Okay, the bad health card is showing. So I'm thinking some of this is, though I actually, some of it's true. I think there's something going on. Okay, that's affected him. Okay, that's affected him to do his job. I feel he's trying, but I'm a little concerned. Okay, about some things happening here. Okay, so let's kind of go ahead and look at that. Now, this is very interesting. I do get the card gift. Pop it up in here. So I wonder, somebody may actually, and actually it could be more than one, actually because of the food shortage thing, may actually come and do a decent donation toward the food shortage. I feel someone of power. It could be Elon Musk. It's a possibility. It's a possibility, may do some kind of donation toward the food shortage. Now let's go ahead and look at more. That's very interesting, because right when I was focused on Joe Biden, I said he hasn't been himself. He's kind of, and then I drew bad health right after I'm there. Okay, so there does, I do feel something mentally is with him right now. Okay, that something's going on. I hate to say it and so forth, but I'm a little concerned. Okay, so let's go ahead. But yeah, we do have some positives here that are popping up in this Lenormand. Well, except for that. Okay, great. As I say that, I draw the mice. Okay, so we got a few things here. Okay, hold on. So I do feel it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now I'm going to tell you guys. The Kipper and the Lenormand both have the card the Coffin. Okay, and I did have the Coffin there. I hadn't gone over that one. I wanted to see if it would pop up in this layout too, but the Coffin showed up twice. Okay, so I do feel some issues with some losses, with some shortage, people struggling. That despair card also popped as well. So there are going to be people, especially who are really struggling, poverty, maybe on state aid, things like that. Various people are going to struggle. Okay, there's going to be a period. I feel the first maybe 6 months, there are some shortages, prices up, but then I feel some struggle coming. Okay, I'm not saying we're going to be out of food, but I do feel a struggle. I do feel we will get past it, okay, with the victory card. But I also am concerned some unscrupulous people may be buying up some things and taking over power of our food. Okay, I do feel there could be a little of that going on. And so, also because the mice kind of pops in, and that could be some kind of unfortunate kind of circumstances. But also, keep hope alive. Because remember, the victory card comes in the outcome. I also have the star and the sun and the lilies, which also makes me feel that we get through this period. That just remember, and I always try to remind you guys, spirit's on it. Okay, spirit's on it, and spirit is going to help. Okay, so always keep that. And so, but it's very interesting. Spirit talks about, that magician is popping up in there and everything. Work on your manifestation. I feel is what, Spirit is definitely saying. And, during this time, this is a time to really work on manifestation. But of course, realistic things. For example, with the grocery store, this is probably, and I probably have to do this too, because sometimes I like little treats and stuff. Maybe cut out on things that aren't necessary. Like, do you need chips? Do you need Cheetos? Do you need sweets? Maybe eliminate that and start stocking up, on some non-perishables. Just be on the safe side, okay? Obviously, if you buy produce and things like that, you have to eat it right away. But get stock it up on some canned goods, things you can freeze, and things like that. Stock the kitties up on food, in case there's an issue, stuff like that. But yeah, there's some concerns here, guys. There's definitely some concerns, and I'm a little concerned. I got the Coffin twice, which does make me feel there could be some serious problems. With some people really, like say you're homeless. Definitely we've got a big homeless problem. We've got all these people who can't afford, to rent these places. I feel a growing homeless problem, okay, because they can't afford, to live in places. That's why we need to have like micro apartments or something, like maybe they're a little place, but it's real cheap, and maybe you can charge them cheap rent to live in a room, but at least they're off the street or something, some kind of, there's got to be some solutions there to fix some stuff, okay? So it's a big one, but this is a good time to start stocking up, and that was the reason I wanted to do the read. I wanted to look, is it something we should be concerned about and kind of bring to our attention, pay attention to, or is this something that'll pass and we'll be okay? And so I feel like we won't feel it for maybe the first, maybe 6 months, but then it's going to start, getting kind of, hey, empty shelves, what's going on? Because certain, ingredients like wheat, obviously we put that in bread, certain things, and we get a chunk from Ukraine. And of course we make wheat here, but there's other things, and hold on one sec. I'll show you guys. The other one I almost forgot to mention, I briefly mentioned while I was in the middle of a read. Why are farmers destroying their own crops? Okay. Is there a government telling farmers to destroy crops? It says USDA said farmers are not being told to destroy their crops, and there are no nationwide food shortages on the horizon. That was back September 2021. Okay, this is an old one. But that was a while ago. But here, now when we go to March 6th, 2022, and this was the New York Times, dumped milk, smashed eggs, plowed vegetables, food waste of the pandemic. With restaurants, hotels, and schools closed, many of the nation's largest farms are destroying millions of pounds of fresh goods that they can no longer sell. Okay, so there was some issues there that they were having to dump out milk and all kinds of things. Let's see. An Idaho farmer had dug huge ditches to bury 1 million pounds of onions. And in South Florida, a region that supplies much of the eastern half of the United States with produce, tractors are crisscrossing bean and cabbage fields, plowing perfectly ripe vegetables back into the soil. After weeks of concern about shortages in grocery stores, a man scrambles to find the last box of pasta or toilet paper roll. Many of the nation's largest farms are struggling with another ghastly effect of the pandemic. They're being forced to destroy tens of millions of pounds of fresh food that they can no longer sell. And what it is closing of restaurants, hotels, and schools has left some farmers with no buyers. So this is crazy, with no buyers for stuff, for more than half their crops. And even as retailers see spikes in food sales to Americans who are now eating nearly everything, every meal at home, the increases are not enough to absorb all of the perishable food that was planted weeks ago and intended for schools and businesses. So we did have farmers that are having to, destroy crops. And the amount of waste is staggering. The nation's largest dairy cooperative, Dairy Farmers of America, estimates that farmers are dumping as many as 3.7 million gallons of milk each day. And this was back in March. This is just in March, okay? A single chicken processor is smashing 750,000 unhatched eggs every week. So this is crazy. So we've got this going on. And so it's like there's not buyers, but then there's food shortages in grocery stores, but nobody's buying from the farmers. What is going on? Okay, so they have to, because the stuff's gonna go rotten, rotten eggs, rotten milk, whatever. They're destroying this stuff. This is food. This is food that I don't understand. It's like, if you're gonna destroy it, why don't you donate it? Give it something, okay? And there are people starving. Okay, so this is kind of some weird stuff. And this is some weird stuff. And since the pandemic, there had been issues with that. But yeah, it doesn't look like they're being paid to destroy. That doesn't. They're not getting that, but they are getting. The government wasn't doing that, but apparently buyers is what they're saying, is people weren't buying enough. And so, but then there's a food shortage. Wait a minute. We need, so do they want the shelves bare? Okay, so it's something. There's some funky stuff going on. Okay, so with the meantime, what can we do? What can we do? In the meantime, what you can do. And that's why I wanted to do the reading, to try to be informative about some of this weird stuff going on, which you could completely research or read articles and all kinds of stuff. And also, I do recommend read other sources, don't just go CNN and all that stuff. Because they'll tell you everything's fine, right? With the food, things like that. And don't just go to Fox, because they'll tell you everything's, that the apocalypse is here. But just kind of look at legitimate, people, talking about stuff like from farmers, actual farmers, stuff like that, interviews with them, the real people who are making the food. And so, kind of look at them and what they have to say. Check YouTube's, people that, are just regular old people that are talking about like certain things you can do. This might be a good time to coupon clip. Maybe I should do that, extreme couponing or something, because apparently those people know how to stockpile. Okay. That's what I got.